Hi, I'm Sandi Genovese, and today we're going to create a project that features two of my favorite things, photos and dimensionality. Now, when you make a card, you know how I always say you need to start with the envelope first. I've actually tucked my card into an envelope just so you can see that it's going to nicely fit inside this envelope. This is an A9 size envelope, and I'll put the dimensions up on the website, but it fits in there nicely, and there are fold lines that when you crease on the folds, you get some fun dimensionality, and it ends up looking just like a little merry window for the holidays. This one is actually for Christmas, but of course you could do it for Hanukkah and just change the color and the decorations. You could also do birthdays. Of course you could, use this concept for anything. This is using one that has 6 panes in the window. Of course, how many panes you have and where the divisions occur are up to you. Here's another example. This one is a window that has 4 panes, and the reason that it matters is because you want the lines that intersect for the window to not mess up your Christmas photo or your holiday photo. And if I open this up, you'll see what I mean. I've only lightly tacked this down so that I can open it and show you. Now, this particular one is attached to the back of the card with slits. You can actually use adhesive in place of the slits, whatever works for you. But the reason I talk about how it works, the photo with the window panes, this one, when it's closed up, those panes that intersect the window are not cutting right through anybody's eyes, or they're not cutting something off at a place that just kind of takes away from the photo. And the photo is the important part, so you want to make sure. I'm going to show you a couple of other choices so you see what I mean. Here's one that I don't think works as well. When I put this in there, you can see this is Allison and Richard and their 2 little girls. And you can see that particularly this goat right here, it cuts right through Addison's face, which isn't good. Here is another choice using a photo that's just one of Addison's baby photos. And I had one of Quincy, but the one of Quincy worked, and I wanted you to see sometimes they work well and sometimes they don't. So how many photo openings you choose and where you place those photo openings, they should be based on your photo. So create this pattern for the front piece with your photo in mind. Set the photo underneath it and make sure that the patterns together work. We're going to use this pattern for the one that we're going to make today, and you want to start with paper that's long. So go to the art section of the hobby store, of Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Canson paper comes in this oversized, or you can get oversized paper cardstock in Staples in 11/17 size. This is 16 3/4 inches long, and it's 5.5 inches tall. And the measurements are set like so. You're going to, I'll turn it over so maybe you can see my crease marks a little better. You're going to come in 3/4 of an inch and then crease. And then you're going to go 7 1/4, crease again, 3/4, crease again, 7 1/4, and crease one final time. What that results in are all your corners are 3/4 of an inch so that they will overlap like so. Now, to get this opening, you can measure, but a lot of it I did sort of by my eyesight, and I'll bring this up and I'll show you what I mean. I started with a piece of paper, and it was just a plain blank white piece of paper, and it was 6 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then I went and I took 1 3/8 inch squares and I arranged them so that I felt like I had a fairly even border all the way around. I stuck them down, traced around, cut out with my X-Acto knife or with scissors, and it resulted in this. Now you can take this and you can glue it onto your paper, but I used this instead just as a pattern so that when this is laying down, this was my pattern that I traced around so that when I cut this out, I now have the windows. I'm going to use this for all my cards. I'm going to use this again as the next pattern. So rather than using this on here, I find that I got straighter lines and it looked better. And quite honestly, it was easier to put together by using paper strips. So let me move everything a little out of my way, and then I'll show you what I did. I took and I cut white paper in 1/4 inch strips, and I'm going to put adhesive on the back side, and I'm going to use this to just cover over one of those vertical panes. And I'll put some more adhesive so that I can do the same thing with this paint. I'll try to work on the green paper so you can really see the white against the red of the card itself. I'm not worried about these edges because they're going to get covered over by the border that goes all the way around. Now I need to look about this one. So I'm going to take one other strip that's white and that's 1/4 inch, and this is cardstock is what I'm using, or cover stock. And I'm going to just place this so that it is attached right over the top and trim it off. None of this has to be real precise other than the strip itself, which I just cut on the paper cutter, but that gives you those edges. Now for the outside edges, I'm going to create the border, and this is 1/2 inch white cover stock. So I'll start with one edge, and I'll go ahead and I'll position this so that, and I can see I didn't put adhesive going far enough. Let me go farther. I'm going to overlap just slightly my red window that I've cut out, and I want to leave a 1/2 inch up here, or even a little more than a 1/2 inch. Let me show you why that matters. I'm going to take another 1/2 inch strip and I'm going to put adhesive for this. I'm overlapping this because it's an easy way that you can get that bevel edge that you see on picture frames and on really nice windows. So I'm going to overlap this corner with the one that I just did. I'll leave enough so that I can go back and do the same thing on this corner. But for here, what you want to do is you want to stick these two nicely together. And then before it has a chance to set up on the red paper, I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to use my scissors. Now, if you wanted to, you could draw this. I never do, but you could draw this with a pencil right here. I'm going to draw it lightly so you can see where I'm cutting. I'm cutting just a straight line from where these two intersect to the corner. And what that will do is it will give me that really cool beveled edge. So all I have to do now is hold the two together and cut through both thicknesses, and then pull off this piece and pull off this piece, and you get that really nice beveled edge. You would do the same thing on all 4 of the other corners, and it results in what looks like a really cool window that has really nice edges, or sort of a really nice frame around the whole design. Now when it comes to the middle section, you have lots of choices. I'll bring up a sheet here that gives you the one that I chose, but also other ones that I liked. Even though this one doesn't have the rest of the window, you can still see if I take something like this sticker, if I wanted this to overlap the middle section, you can see how cool that would be. If you have a sticker that has areas like this that you don't want them to stick to your photo, so you turn it over and you take baby powder and you brush the baby powder every place where the sticker is exposed. And what it does is it eliminates the adhesive. I'm going to peel this back off because I want to show you other choices. So that was using this really beautiful floral photograph sticker, but we're going to be using stars. Let's say that when you have your photo in here, there's something important up here that you don't want to obscure, and down in this corner there's really nothing. It's just background. That means that it might be a good choice for you to choose to put trees, for instance, in this area and create your embellishment there. Or you could have something up in one of the top corners with stickers, with holly. I used star stickers. So as I said, I'm going to take one of the star stickers and I'm just going to, oops, I got more than I needed. I'm just going to place the sticker so that it sits roughly in the middle, and how much it actually overlaps into the window itself is really going to be based on your photo and whether there's something there that you want to be careful not to cover up. Then I used foam adhesive to raise up the other two stars. But remember, I mentioned you don't want this back here to stick when it's in the envelope. You don't want it to stick to your photo. So let me do this. I always keep baby powder right on my drafting table and just have it in an old film canister. I'll take a paintbrush and flip this over, and any place you can see where there is sticky, right now it's sticky, you can see how it's pulling up. Watch what happens. You can also use baking powder, baby powder. They both work. You want to make sure that you use either of those choices. You don't want it to damage the photo in years to come with acidity. So there's almost nothing as safe as baby powder. So now look, there is no stickiness left in those stickers where it was exposed. So you would go back then and you would add the other two star stickers on the side, which, as I said, I have raised with foam adhesive. Place the photo inside, and then once you have your photo inside, you're going to put adhesive on one strip and overlap it so that it can then slide nicely into the envelope and it's ready to mail. How easy and how fun and how dimensional is that? This card combines photos with dimensionality, which you know, they're two of my favorite things.